Hi everybody, this is the Search Buzz video recap. My name is Barry Schwartz. Today is Thursday, April 12th. Missed last week and I'm going to miss tomorrow, so I figure I'll do it today to catch up on last week and to catch up and to make sure you get tomorrow today. In short, the reason I missed last week was because I had a baby girl. I had a baby girl last Thursday. And Friday I had to do a lot of stuff around the house and to get also ready for Passover. So having a baby the day before Passover starts is not necessarily the easiest thing, especially when you're hosting your in-laws. In that event, it worked out pretty well, and everybody's healthy. And I appreciate all the comments and feedback we got. Everybody's healthy and happy, and a little bit tired, but outside of that, it's all good. So thanks again. It's a lot of stuff to go through. I'll go through as fast as I can. Again, today is April 12th, and this is the Search Buzz video recap. And here we go. On the, I believe it was the April 2nd, we posted the monthly Google Webmaster Report, where I go through the past month of stuff that happened at Google related to webmaster related topics and SEO related topics. And the webmaster thread is pretty much talking about long tail sites seeing a huge fluctuation in Google traffic, e-commerce sites not ranking well at all, and Google localization changes, also known as Google Venus. And the major things that happened in the past 30 days was the Panda 3.4 update, the Google's Matt Cutts talking and announcing the overly SEO penalty, which has not been released yet, and obviously the big blog network penalty, which we discussed in the past. But now I'm going to go into what's gone on in the past week and a half or so. Google announced 50 plus search changes a week ago, where they went through the various changes that they made in the past month, and those are about 50 changes. There were the main things in this thread, obviously, had to do with a lot of different things, but let me point out a few things. One is the anchor text changes, and they don't go into specifics. Image search changes, index symbols changes, navigation query changes. One thing that really stood out to me was they talked about improvements to processing for detection of site quality. So they did a change called curl up, which basically which that's their code name, and it's a way of them detecting what is a high quality or a site quality site. And that's one of the 50 changes they made this past week, or past 2 weeks. Easter was the weekend, it was also Passover, but there seemed to be a lot of webmaster chatter about how Google's traffic changes, there's search result changes in the Google search results, meaning people were noting fluctuations in the search results, people were noting traffic changes, and they were saying it's not just being Easter, the traffic changes, it seems to be something major going on in Google. The question is, was there any type of major update? I'm not exactly sure. Google has not commented on it specifically. There are things it could be things like just traffic was lower because of Passover and Easter. It could be individual sites hit with penalties and those people are complaining a lot. Or maybe Google released some type of update, maybe the over-optimization filter was released and nobody announced it. We have more information about that on April 9th at seroundtable.com. This morning I posted about how Google has been doing this for a while, but Google is basically telling you, that Google's been sending out these unnatural link warnings, and they've been doing this for the past several months, and they've recently increased it because they've been doing a lot more webmaster communication in this past year. They've been doing it tremendously. But did you know that sometimes when you reply to one of those warnings using the reconsideration request, Google will say, if you haven't cleaned it up, will say, well, you still have a lot of inorganic links pointing to your website, and here are some examples that might help you point you in the right direction on what to clean up. So Google will tell people, on occasion, what links, examples of links that are inorganic, that are affecting their quality in the search results, and they might go ahead and tell you that. Again, if you got one of these warnings recently, it doesn't mean you have a new penalty. A lot of people think it's a new penalty. It just means that Google sent you this warning because they're sending people these warnings now. They haven't done this in the past. This is something they're doing new. This is something they started about 6 months ago. They ramped it up in the past 2 months. So a lot of people are getting these warnings now. Doesn't mean it's a new issue. It just means it is an issue that you have with your site. It's not necessarily something that happened. You got a warning and your rankings dropped. It could have been several months ago or several years ago. So again, we posted about that today. If you want, you can look at that for more information. Google said also related to that, if you do have paid links or inorganic links, you have to go as far back as possible to remove as many of those links as possible, as far back as you actually started acquiring those inorganic or paid links. Google's John Mueller said do a few things. One is do not wait out penalties. Go ahead and do whatever you can and submit reconsideration requests as soon as possible. Two is remove all paid links going far as back as you can, as far back as you started paying for those links. And getting a notification, he said this, getting a notification now does not mean it's a new penalty. This means that Google sent you a notification now. It doesn't mean it's a new penalty, which we just discussed. So those are three things that Google's John Moo said, and I have more details about that on April 4th at SEOroundtable.com. An interesting case of an SEO issue. Burberry, the major brand, clothing brand, their SEO manager, Dean Rowe, posted in the Google Webmaster Help Things channel, basically saying he got a notification of a big traffic change to his top URL, which was us.burberry.com. What happened here was that Google felt that us.burberry.com was too similar to uk.burberry.google.com and decided we should use the UK version and remove the US version, which obviously had a major impact on it. And Google's John Mueller went ahead and went back and forth with the guy, basically explaining you have to use these types of elements in order for Google to understand that they're not the same page, that they're meant for this purpose or meant for that purpose. But this is one good example of a major site, having an issue, getting good advice from Google, but how to handle these cases where you have different localized properties, geo properties with similar content. So you want to take a look at that if you have these issues of major brand with geographic properties. We have that on April 5th at SEOroundtable.com. Home Depot on buying links. So yesterday we posted about it. It's a pretty controversial topic because I posted about it. But basically, Home Depot is emailing out their partners, which a lot of people do, saying, hey, you should link to us because we're an authority, and linking to us really helps you because we're an authority. So basically saying, hey, partners, link to us. It will help you in the long run. I'm not saying it would. It's just they're saying you should. But the one thing that stands out outside of that is that they also wrote in their email, supposedly, that please note that a hyperlink does not have to be visually indicated, meaning you can hide the link to the Home Depot website as long as it's still linking to us. You don't have to make it look like a link to your users, which is kind of weird. Anyway, we have like 20 plus comments on this post. People like saying what's wrong with this. People saying this is horrible. Either way, it's an interesting topic for SEOs to look at. This was interesting. The day it was April 6th. I posted about this, and it came from, I can't pronounce his name, so I apologize, Uwe Tipman. He's from Bacchus, or I don't pronounce that either, I'm sorry. But Alan Webb's company, I think he's the CEO of Alan's Webb company, some guy I go way back with, in Germany. And he noticed that if you're using your iPhone or iPad, which supports something called emoji, emoji, it's basically a way to do these cool characters. If you're using your iPad or iPhone or any iOS device and you're doing a search and you have those codes embedded in your title tag or in your description, meta description, Google will actually show those, or the iPhone will actually show those rendered in the Google search results. And I'll show you a screenshot in the search results so you can take a look at it. It's Google's allowed this back in the past with Unicode and HTML entities, and they've always removed it when people abused it. So I can see this being removed anytime soon. I wonder if, let me try testing this out, see if it's actually still live while we're there. Yeah, it's still there, and I'll show you on the screen. And I'll also put it up on the, so you can actually see a screenshot in cleaner view. So that's still there. That's pretty interesting to look at. Next thing is the Google ingredients into the AdWords quality score. Aurora, a Google representative who focuses specifically on AdWords performance, posted a list of ingredients that make up some of Google AdWords quality score. And let me break them out for you. One is keyword relevance. It's keyword relevance, not about keyword density. So relevance, not about the density of the keyword. New keywords get historical quality score until they earn their own stripes, meaning When you have a new keyword, it's not going to have a quality score of its own. It's going to use somebody else's historical quality score. CTR, click-through rate, is based off the exact match keyword. It's pretty self-explanatory. The more impressions, the more click-through rate matters for quality score. So the more impressions you get, the more the factor of click-through rate matters in terms of your quality score. So that's pretty much the main points from this thread. If you want to learn more about it, August 4th at SEOroundtable.com. It is an excellent discussion. AdWords added some features. They added zip code targeting, something they had way back, and they re-added that. So now you can do up to over 30,000 US zip codes. And they also added a cool new dynamic keyword insertion feature called dynamic location insertion. So now you can make one ad and dynamically insert different locations, such as Chicago or cities like, Palo Alto or whatever it might be. You can insert those dynamically based off of the location features that you have. So, for example, if you're using location insertion with using location extensions, it will automatically insert those locations in the insertion keyword. And you can learn more about that in my post on April 9th to learn more about how to actually implement that. Google was testing this weird thing. I haven't seen it mentioned recently, but back on April 3rd, we saw a bunch all over the place where basically Google was testing a toggle for the left-hand side where you actually toggle on and off the navigation or the filter search options on the left-hand side. Again, I think it went away. I don't know if Google's going to bring it back, but it seems to be gone. I'm not going to mention this later, but basically there's another issue where Google was centering the search results. It was all wacky. It was a weird bug and Google fixed it, but I have a post about it, but I'm not going to link to it. Google on March 30th came out with it was the Friday after the video recap we did last time, a new way of doing graphs. So Google released like these cool graphs where you do computational graphs in Google, where you could put in some type of like math algorithm, and Google will then graph it using like a graphing calculator system like Wolfram Alpha does. But now those graphs are animated in 3D. So they actually spin around, they show you the volume, the depth, the width of everything, and it actually plays and circulates for you. So it's pretty cool. We posted about it on March 30th. Google also brought back traffic. So we discussed this back in the day where Google brought back traffic, but now you can also see by time of day. So you can do estimated traffic. Let's say I'm going to New York City tomorrow at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I want to be able to see, on average, how bad traffic is and how early I should leave. And Google brought back that feature after removing it for about a year or so. Bing Video Search got an upgrade. It has a bunch of new features such as infinite scroll, larger preview thumbnails, and more related content, plus larger video viewer with a film strip. So those are the major features to Bing Video Search. Yahoo is restructuring. They laid off about 15% of their workforce, and they merged the search group under Shashi Seth, who is or was the senior vice president of search and marketplace at Yahoo. Now he's going to be leading up the new group called Connections, which is also responsible for things like Yahoo Mail, Messenger, Flickr, Answers, and so forth. So that's all under one group under Yahoo Connections. A Google Fellow, has a free class on Udacity, and this class is basically on how to build your own search engine. So, one of the best ways to learn SEO and fundamentals about search engines and stuff like that is to build your own. And this is a great opportunity to have a Googler teach you for free in a structured class setting over the internet how to build a search engine. And again, it's free. It starts, I think, early next week. We have a post about it on April 11th. You can just go to udacity.com to sign up, and it's definitely worthwhile taking a look at it. They supposedly say you don't have to know programming to do it, but I guess it helps. Google Plus did a major redesign last night. We posted about it this morning. The big topic is white space. Google Glasses was also pre-announced, where basically Google is doing some type of augmented reality search by wearing glasses. So if you're looking down the street, it tells you directions, it tells you the weather, it tells you sign data. It just pours in data into your view based on what you're looking to do. And it's pretty cool. I don't think it's really there yet at all. I have no idea how soon it will be coming out, but the demo was really, really cool. Personally, I'd probably wear these, but I don't know if most people would. In any event, it's really, really cool stuff, and we have a post about it on April 5th. It was April Fool's on the 1st, obviously, and I really didn't do much in terms of covering it this year. Just was a bit busy, but it was on Sunday, and we have a post about it, recapping as much as we can of it on April 1st. And also, finally, there was a Google logo, I believe 2 days ago on April 9th. Yeah, a few days ago on April 9th for Edward Muybridge, who's basically responsible for being the first person to capture motion with pictures, and to come up with a device that actually displays that as a movie film. And Google had a great logo for it. It was probably one of their top logos for it, and you can take a look at it on April 9th at seroundtable.com. Again, I apologize for this taking so long, and I apologize for acting a bit slow, just a bit tired. And thanks everybody so much for everything. And that was the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz. Today is Thursday, April 12th. Everyone have a great day tomorrow, and happy Passover to all those who are celebrating. And I'll see you guys next Friday. Everyone have a great weekend, and see you next week. Bye.